Alright, as a self-proclaimed Myers main, he's one of my main killers, but I never used Tombstone or Infinite Tier 3 or Infinite Tier 3 with Tombstone because I already got the achievements. I never realized how hard it is to actually get a Tombstone kill. Maybe that's just me being a bot, but here's the difference. Here's 2 games of me using the Tombstone, and I absolutely sucked, and then here's me using the game with just my usual build, which is the exact same perk-wise, but then I use Tier 3 just longer. And the difference was night and day. I mean, maybe it's because for the Tombstone, it takes 300% stock, and for the, 50 extra seconds, nearly a whole extra minute of Tier 3, it's 50%, so you don't have to stock as much. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that much of a difference. Whatever. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Evil Dragon here, back with another video. I want to talk about the fact that Halloween is coming out. A brand new Michael Myers Halloween game. Asymmetrical horror game, just like all the other ones, like Dead by Daylight. And the other really successful ones, like, alright, well, maybe TCM got dropped, and, Friday lost the license, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space died, and Evil Dead stopped support, and VHS died. Okay, you get the point. There hasn't been a lot of successful ones, but maybe this one will be different, because it's my favorite horror icon. Let's see who's making it. I got the trailer here. Let's go ahead and see who's... Oh. Illfonic and Gun. The ones behind Friday, and Predator Hunting Grounds, and TCM, and... Ooh, okay, hold on, it's okay. Well, let's look through the trailer really quickly.
Just like hundreds of other small towns all across America.
Is that supposed to be Dr. Loomis? I'm sorry. That's supposed to be Loomis? I know what Loomis sounds like.
He's back, damn it! Do you hear me? Call the sheriff right now and tell him before he finds her!
That's not him. Okay, so it goes through Haddonfield, we see some families, see some dead people. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, that's clearly someone who's not Laurie Strode warning someone else. Oh, here comes Michael. Alright, he's coming. What? What is that? Michael Myers, hello? You think of Michael Myers, you think of some big guy, like the Rob Zombie Michael Myers. Or look at the Dead by Daylight version of Michael Myers. What is that? Bro's head is massive. He's super skinny. He doesn't have the big muscular form that you would think he has. Maybe it's closer to his Halloween 78 form. But what the heck? Alright. Well, sure, Michael might look weird. It might be made by 2 companies. Went together and made Friday a really good game, but one separate have made some games that have died off pretty fast. Let's look at the description here. Let's read it together. Okay, so according to the official description of the game on the PlayStation Store, Halloween, it's Halloween night, 1978. The unsuspecting families of the quiet suburban town of Haddonfield are making holiday preparations, and evil has made its way home. Take the shape of evil as Michael Myers, or... Okay, I understand what they did there. Sure. Or save your neighbors as a hero of Haddonfield in Halloween, the ultimate asymmetrical horror sandbox. Cool. Friday the 13th was a asymmetrical horror sandbox. Slightly different than an asymmetrical horror game like TCM is or DBD is, but sure. And they got 2 sections here for the survivors, or heroes of Haddonfield as they're called, it looks like. And then Michael, as Michael, players wearing the mask become the boogeyman and stalk innocent residents with relentless obsession. Alright, cool. Utilize a nightmarish array of abilities. Michael leverages shadows and stealth to satisfy his bloodthirst. Okay, so it might not be as aggressive or maybe even teleporting-wise as, Jason was. It clearly means you're moving around the stealth and shadows. It's going to be a lot different than Jason played in the Friday game. Sure. This doesn't mean Haddonfield is going down without a fight. Frightened townsfolk will call the local authorities. Okay. And even fight back when threatened, incentivizing Michael to avoid detection. Hold on. And if I skip really quick to the hero of Haddonfield, 3rd paragraph there, to even the odds, you can command and equip NPCs with weapons to outsmart or even overpower the shape. Call authorities? Overpower the shape. This is just Friday the 13th again. You could call the authorities in that game to escape. You could overpower and kill Jason. That's the exact same game. I see what you're doing here. You can't just make a Halloween game. They're just making a reskin Friday the 13th again. Whatever. And for the first time ever, fans of the transformative original film, we're back to the 2nd paragraph, We'll have the option to witness the haunting narrative events surrounding the night he came home through the eyes of Michael Myers in the standalone single-player story mode. That's kind of cool. I hope it's not missions like in Friday the 13th. Those were cool as well, but it wasn't quite a story mode. This says story mode. Whatever. Going to the third paragraph again. As the hero of Haddonfield, it's your job to alert the residents of Haddonfield to the impending evil and help them escape before falling victim to Michael Myers. In a dynamic and ever-changing 1 versus 4 asymmetrical multiplayer game. So it's not going to be like Friday with 1 versus 7, or of course, it's not going to be TCM with 3 versus 4. It's going to be 1 versus 4 like DVD. Cool. Here, players must arm themselves with everyday household items, weapons, and knowledge to combat the unpredictable and unkillable enemy. Unkillable there, okay? So they may be able to overpower and take down the shape. Maybe not kill him like you do Jason in Friday the 13th, but maybe just overpower him in a different way. Sure. Convincing townsfolk and contacting the police will lead to increasingly powerful and thorough neighborhood patrols. Okay, so maybe instead of, the police just being at an exit, maybe, cop cars will actually roam the streets of Haddonfield. Sure. Let's see, to even the odds, again, we read this, you can command and equip NPCs. So there's going to be NPCs in the game. That's different. You're going to be able to maybe tell them where to go. Maybe you have to save them. Again, the hero of Haddonfield. Maybe just like say, get out of here. Or maybe actually, go ahead and equip them with weapons and they'll help you fight. We see that in the trailer as well, right at the end there, when it's clear that you're playing as the character, you bolt into the house and say, hey, Michael's here. The person doesn't believe you. Michael shows up and you both run away. That looks to me like you're the one, someone's a player and someone else is an NPC there. Not too bad. Anyways, the shape provide precious windows for escape, blah, 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 even the odds, weapons, and all that. Okay. It's got final paragraphs powered by Unreal Engine, engaging dynamic gameplay systems, lifelike NPCs, blah, blah, the usual stuff they got to put in there. Asymmetrical horror comes home in Halloween. Cool. It looks good. It sounds good. I'm a little bit worried, though, from some of the stuff I read. Obviously, again, it's going to act similar to Friday. They're both on it together. Again, calling the authorities. What else are you going to do? You're not calling in the military to take down Michael Myers. Sure. So, again, obviously, those were jokes. But it is interesting to hear what they say. Again, 1 versus 4, because Michael, let's be honest, he's not as strong as Jason. He's my favorite horror icon, but even I have to admit that. He seems to be playing, we're probably going to play very in his own different way, more stockish and slow, but also, again, maybe more horror-esque instead, because at some point, horror games kind of lose the horror part if you constantly play it over and over again. But even in a game like Dead by Daylight, if you're going against a Ghostface or Michael who just appears behind you, can still be very scary. Alright, so he's going to have his own abilities. You're going to be able to play as him. There's going to be a single player mode where you play as him. We don't know if you're going to play as, also the hero of Haddonfield. Who knows? NPCs and all this stuff. You can overpower him, fight back, have to escape. It sounds really fun and cool. What else could they do? Well, if it's just Halloween 78, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, for example, only got the rights to the first game. Whereas the Friday the 13th game had the rights to all the movies and all this stuff. Sorry, not game for Texas Chainsaw, the first movie. That's why they only had the characters from the first movie and everybody else was originally made. Evil Dead, the game, had, the rights to the show and all the different movies and whatnot. So hopefully it's the same thing here. Hopefully it's not just one movie, but hopefully it'll be Halloween 1, 2, we skipped 3, of course, 4, 5, 6, the Rob Zombie remake, the H2O and Resurrection, the new 2018 trilogy. Hopefully we can get all these different versions of Michael Myers, kind of like Jason, how they'll have their own playstyle and do different things. I think that'll be cool. Maybe some are more powerful, but maybe, slower, some are faster and less powerful. It's kind of like how they did Friday the 13th. Again, obviously, because both companies are working on this together, they kind of know what to do together whenever they have worked together. Again, Friday the 13th, it was really successful. It was a licensing thing that got in the way. Whereas with Texas Chainsaw and Predator Hunting Grounds, those just flopped because maybe these companies work together. Gun and Illfonic. Again, I have high hopes. I'm very excited. This looks good. Looking at the 2 screenshots they have on the PlayStation Store, Michael looks a lot different than he did in that trailer, so maybe it was just a CGI thing. I do hope they fix that a little bit. I hope they make him a little bit, again, bulkier. Not to the, again, Jason's level. He's not that bulky, but just make him bigger because, again, he seems to be pretty skinny there. But, yeah, I'm excited. It looks good. We'll have to wait until some gameplay comes out or another trailer comes out. Or we actually just see how both sides play. Maybe like Texas Chainsaw, they'll do another open beta. That would be really cool. And if they do have the licenses to all the movies and films and whatnot, it would be cool for map-wise. They could, not just use Haddonfield. They could do the Haddonfield Hospital from Halloween 2, the Silver Shamrock Factory from Halloween 3. You could do the school from Halloween H2O. You could do the different movies and sets from, different parts of Haddonfield from, Kills and End. You could do Laurie's house from Halloween 2018 / the start of Kills. You could do a whole bunch of different stuff map-wise. Characters, again, they might not do legacy characters. They did kind of do that in Friday the 13th and, of course, in Texas Chainsaw. Maybe you could have, Busta Rhymes as a character. That would be cool. They're probably not going to do that, but still, it would be cool enough to see. We'll have to wait and find out. But again, this looks really good, so yeah. Hope you guys do enjoy nonetheless. Just saying really quick, we are really close to 400 subscribers, so, if you like what you see here, maybe hit that subscribe button. We're really close to 400 again, so we can get there hopefully before school starts here. But again, without further ado, hope you guys enjoy nonetheless. Maybe leave a like, maybe leave a nice comment down below, maybe hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, and I'll see y'all next time for some more random videos like this. I can't say Halloween, making a video on Halloween because the game's not out yet, but whatever. Bye, everybody.